really pleased to be joined by you, Trevor, today. And can I say Dr. Trevor D. Sterling? Huge congratulations on that. We're all still getting used to it. So I'll start with this question. Trevor, can you provide a short plotted history of your path at Moore Barlow, your journey and your highlights so far? And actually, a little bit about what ambition you started with and what you thought that your future at Moore Barlow could look like.
Well, I had this sort of sense that wherever I went next, because I knew it was time to leave my last firm, that it had to be somewhere special, somewhere full of warmth. And I think the way I was introduced into Moore Barlow, it was a meeting with Damien Horan, amongst others. That meeting kind of epitomised the firm. It was just a sort of gentle meeting in a pub, actually. And it was just lovely, they listened, and I talked and talked, and I got a real sense that I could come here with a blank sheet of paper, and that they wanted me to innovate. And the result of that was that all these ideas that I had buzzing in my head of how I thought a law firm could look, I could perhaps reimagine that with Moore Barlow. And the wonderful thing was that I was just given this license to be myself, but also to, put those thoughts, that imagination into play, and it's proven to be incredible. And I get my energy from those around me, and because of the amount of energy here and the open-mindedness and openness to creativity, it was actually quite easy in a strange way, which sounds a bit of a paradox because of all that's been achieved, but it was made easy by the energy and the drive and the no-can-do attitude of those around me. So I'm really, really proud of these 10 years.
And how have Moore Barlow helped to facilitate these opportunities and generally support your journey here?
Well, Moore Barlow just allowed me to fly, which sounds like a sort of cliche. And I always imagine if you're a bird and you're taking off and flying, when you take off, you don't necessarily know where you're going. And that's the reality. So each day I wake up, I don't really know what it is where I'm going to be going. I just know that I want to get somewhere special, do something special. And so you can't be regulated. And the one thing about Moore Barlow is they've just given me the confidence to fly and to fly in whatever direction. And that's been really important. So some of the things I've done were not part of any master plan. I unveiled a steam train up in Leeds. I've renamed a hospital, Headley Court Hospital, alongside the Secretary of State at the time, Matt Hancock. Done lots of media in response to certain events such as George Floyd, and of course we unveiled the first statue of a named black female anywhere in the UK, Moore Barlow sponsoring the Mary Seacole Trust, and we designed a coin, the first coin to feature a person of colour from outside of the UK, again Mary Seacole. So that coin being commissioned with the Royal Mint. So we've done some incredible things, but the most important thing of all of that is we've been able to make change, and you can't really predict what change you're going to make. You can just say to yourself, I want to make a difference, and that's all on the back of wanting to be the best lawyers we can be, delivering excellence for our clients, delivering opportunities for those that work for us, to fulfill what I think should be a dream. It should be a dream to be a lawyer. And if you achieve that, the very art, and it is an art, of being a lawyer is to be able to then go out into the community and make a difference, whether that's naming hospitals or unveiling statues. It's about being able to create a better society. And Moore Barlow, as I say, what they've done is they've said to me, one, we are not going to ask you not to do anything. Just be you. Do it. And they've allowed me to take people with me. And what I've seen over those 10 years is we've now created a movement, which is a really special movement. And we have Moore Barlow Way, but we also have, in my view, the Moore Barlow movement.
Yeah. Reflecting on your decade at Moore Barlow, what moments and achievements stand out as a defining moment in your career here and a highlight in your leadership journey? I think for us and your team, it will have to be your doctorate. I mean, huge congratulations. And if I will, I'll call you Trevor, Dr. Trevor D. Sterling. And we're so very proud of you.
Well, I'll speak on a personal level because on a professional level, undoubtedly it's been, creating the major trauma service, working within a fantastic division, personal injury, medical negligence, and of course across the firm. But on a very personal level, there are those moments. So unveiling a statue, designing a coin, huge moment. But I think you reflect back on your childhood. I didn't have an easy childhood in the sense that we were from a lower socioeconomic background. My parents are from Jamaica. And I never had a sense of purpose, of what I could achieve. And I left school early. So going on a journey, and actually, I talked about 25% of my career has been here, which is 10 years. The other 75% didn't fill me with great confidence. And so coming here and realising that 10% has filled so many gaps in my heart, So becoming a doctor, the gap it filled was I didn't go to university.
Yeah.
And I didn't go to university not because I wasn't bright enough. I think I've proven that I was. But circumstances didn't create that pathway for me. So Moore Barlow have enabled me to understand my value and to really heal those wounds of those earlier years where I felt perhaps failed by society. And so there's something quite incredible in that. Becoming a doctor of law based on work around social mobility is very powerful. A nod to my parents who came from Jamaica in 1959, receiving the Black Leaders Award, Senior Leaders Award at the Black Talent Awards, but more recently being nominated a Jamaican National Hero in the UK, alongside Norman Manley, who was a former Prime Minister of Jamaica, born himself in the 1930s when my parents were born, and he was a lawyer.
Wow.
And so to be nominated as one of just the 7 national heroes here in the UK was a powerful moment because it made my parents so proud.
Yeah.
And in turn, with the coin I mentioned, being able to design a coin and take it back to Jamaica and having a sense of value because so many Jamaicans came to see me and I was on the radio across Jamaica, really completed a circle. My parents are still around. They're in 87 and they've got to see all this. And it's a reminder to me that whatever we achieve isn't just for us. And it's not just to inspire the next generation. It's also a nod to those before us, my parents in particular. So, it's been a really interesting journey, and I can only summarise it by saying Moore Barlow have not just completed me, but completed my family.
Thank you. Trevor, I think I know what the answer to this question may be because we've had the privilege and opportunity on working on so many great cases together and so many emotional and sensitive cases too where we've achieved great outcomes. But are there any particular cases, clients or projects that stand out to you at your career here at Moore Barlow?
Yeah, I think the cases are, every case is an important case and every case is unique. But there are those cases that the uniqueness really goes, above and beyond. Westminster terror attacks was horrendous, particularly in that climate at that time, and it was an interesting case because of the nuances of the law. Someone being hit by a vehicle versus somebody being stabbed. So that was an interesting case. I think Croydon tram was another case. It was a community case for me. I lived very near to where that happened. People get on the tram at the same time, and so they create this little community in a carriage. And so when there's a catastrophe, it feels as if people have lost, friends. And of course, they have to get back on the tram thereafter. So there was an important piece of work of understanding the failings around our tram system and making sure that they were safe. So that was a really important case. Bath tipper truck case was a really sad case. A vehicle that went out of control and caused serious injuries to a number of people by a school. And so that was really about, heavy goods vehicles near schools. But undoubtedly the case that has touched me and you the most, because it's a case that takes you beyond being a lawyer. It's a case that touches on you as a father and as a mother. Are the Wimbledon school crash case involving so many people, but of course involving 2 young 8-year-olds that were killed at what I've described should have been one of the safest places on the planet, a school. So I think that's touched me the most, and has certainly caused you and I a real sense of deep reflection on that bond between parents and their children. It's a special bond, and also teachers and their pupils. There's something really powerful in that case, and something really dutiful in being able to act for those families. So I would say that is the case that causes me the deepest reflection and inspires me and you, I know, the rest of the team to really deliver justice on it.
So Trevor, the next question is really focused on all that you're doing to give back and really helping people to climb the ladder, which I know is a huge mantra of yours. As a partner and a senior partner here at Moore Barlow, you've mentored and worked alongside many talented individuals. What advice have you found yourself giving time and time again to people in the business, in the community, and to all those brilliant students you meet as well? To the community.
Well, there are 2 things really. I mean, I've got a mantra, as you know, which is don't just aspire to climb the ladder, aspire to be the ladder. And it's a personal mantra, but it's a mantra that I hold for the firm as well. And I think as a firm, we must build ladders, and that's really important. Ladders for all is incredibly important, and open up the profession to the next generation, to people from all different backgrounds. That's incredibly important. But the fundamental advice I give, and I give this when I'm at schools, is to aim for the Kármán line. And people often, they ask me, what is the Kármán line? And the Kármán line is that line just at which you're leaving the Earth's atmosphere. So when you get beyond it, there's no gravity, so you're sort of floating. You're in this spiritual place of spiritual freedom. And we're all aiming to get there. And the problem, the thing that holds us back and pulls us back is gravity. That's what stops you from getting to the Kármán line. And gravity in this context of those pressures we face, the social challenges we face, coming from different backgrounds and so forth. So we have to burn through that gravity to get to the Kármán line. And there are just 2 things you need. And the first is fuel, which is positive fuel. So you put that into this spacecraft and it's got the energy to get through the gravity. And the second, which is the simplest thing, is to press the ignition. Now, the ignition is the button of self-belief. And if you have that self-belief, if you've got the positive fuel, you can get through that gravitational pull and hit this place of spiritual freedom. In other words, fulfill your ambitions and your dreams. So what I aim to do is to encourage people to press the ignition, to give them self-belief. And I think as a firm, that's what we aim to do, to encourage people to press the button and to give them the positive fuel. So to the next generation, my advice is hit the Kármán line.
So, Trevor, there's no slowing down for you. I can see that, and I can see how much joy and how much passion you get out of all the work that you're doing, both in those wonderful legal cases and across the business and in the community. So, there's no sign of you slowing down. So, what excites you about the future of Moore Barlow, and how do you see your role evolving as senior partner and continuing to contribute towards the firm's success?
So I think the exciting thing about Moore Barlow is that, and we have to remember this, that these were two firms came together, Barlow Robbins and Moore Blatch, with this tremendous sort of history and legacy, and they came together in 2020, and we created Moore Barlow. So we're a new firm, and we weren't really able to fly in the way that I've described earlier on because we were met with a pandemic, the first of its type in over 100 years. And so it was a difficult time, but now the pandemic's behind us and we're in a new world, different behaviours, different, the work-life balance is different, people working from home and all those things. And because we're a new firm, we're able to move in different directions quickly because we don't have these old entrenched practices. We can be open-minded and we've got great talent coming through. So it's incredibly exciting to be in a top 100 firm, which is a new firm, which is so diverse with people from so many backgrounds, with a black senior partner, currently with a female chair, with what was the youngest managing partner as well. I mean, that's exciting. So really, we've got this phenomenal foundation now, and if we can all just, make sure we hold true to our values, and that underpins what we do. If we can aim to inspire others to hit the Kalman line that I talked about, if we can not confine ourselves to the constraints of regulation and history, but allow ourselves to innovate and be creative, then we've got a fantastic opportunity here to create the type of firm that if you were a child and you said, when you grow up, what kind of firm would you like to create? We can create that. And that's incredibly exciting. A modern, dynamic firm that is there for everyone, that allows everyone to be a part of it and deliver excellent legal services, and above all cares about the community.